Coach just got out to kind of a slow start there early. Amazing for that.
Oh, you know, we had a really hard week of training, and I think physically, you know, it could have had an effect on us. But the challenge there was making up for that with our mental toughness. We didn't show a lot of mental toughness in those first few matches. So, you know, it means we got a ways to go. You know, we got 2 weeks before conference, so we better straighten some things up. Because we won't win matches doing that, wrestling that way. So, you know, we were challenged physically, and mentally we didn't answer the challenge.
You're happy with the way you guys fought back there?
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm happy. I think we did show some heart at some matches. Shane first started off a little rocky and was really unfocused, looking at the clock, not listening to me. I think our guys were listening to their coaches, and our guys were worried about the referees instead of focused on wrestling. And you know, Shane got back together and turned it around, and Brock followed up with a gutty performance against a kid that beat him pretty handily at the beginning of the year. I think beat him by 6 or 7 points. So to pull off a win, and that was big for seeding for conference. So you know, that was good to see him. And then Joe come out and dominating by opening up and getting the fall was big for the team score. But you know, right now it wasn't about the team score. It was about sharpening some things up and getting prepared for the postseason.
Brock's been doing really well. You just talked about the season he's had so far and up to this match.
It's really amazing. I mean, I went through and looked at his season records, and he's really just, I mean, he's got to be one of the most dominant guys in the country looking at his individual match scores. Gosh, I think he has 10 or 11 tech falls and 10 or 11 pins, and then most of the rest of them are majors, you know. So he pretty much goes out and brings a big boost to this team, and that's what you need, you know. And we've got a couple of guys that have done that, but he's been consistent, you know, and he's been dealing with the pressure of coming back after a great year last year, and he's carried the weight of this team on his shoulders. Unfair as it may be, it makes you grow up fast, makes you mature fast. So, you know, I think he'll be better for it in the long run.
I know this regular season's coming to an end here. What are your sort of expectations going into the tournament and going forward?
Well, we got our work cut out with us. You know, it's a wide open tournament this year. There's some better teams. Air Force has a better team. North Dakota has a better team. Utah Valley adds their team to our conference this year, and they've got, you know, I think right now they're the number 2 team in the conference. They weren't even here last year, so we have a challenge ahead of us to go in and perform well. I think it's going to be, the team score is going to be a little more spread out than they have been the last several years, and we're going to have to wrestle better than we did tonight. You know, there's no doubt about that. But we didn't train to wrestle our best tonight, so that's one comfort. But we've got to straighten some things up. We're having some mental errors in matches that we can't have at the conference or at the NCAA tournament. So, you know, we know where we have to go from here. We've got 2 weeks to do it. I think we're going to have some good practices and come out a better team here in 2 weeks.
Anything specific you guys will be working on in the next 2 weeks?
Oh, you know, I was disappointed earlier with guys shooting our legs and us getting lifted real easy. I mean, we didn't fight our hips. We didn't fight hip pressure. Some of us were struggling on bottom. Well, we struggle on bottom when we don't do anything, when we stick our head on the mat. And you look at a match like Brock Smith, you know, well, when he did something, he came out. You know, but we had a couple ways where guys want to drop their head and they want it to be easy instead of just blowing out there and working for it. So we got to work on bottom. We got to work on our defense. Some of the simple things. Sometimes at the end of the year, you go back and you do simple things again. And actually, a lot of times you do that. You go back and you fix some of the basics, and that's what we'll be working on. You know, I expected them. I told our guys before we wrestled, these guys are going to come hard. That's what they do. This isn't a knock to them, but they came out. They were very simple. You know, even from their coaching staff, it was pulling the head, pulling the head, pulling the head. There wasn't a lot more than that, but they're fighting. They're wrestling hard. They're scrapping. They caught us in a couple situations and flipped us to our back, you know, and we had to fight hard to get off and not give up the pin. But I expected them to come out and fight hard, you know, and the problem is that we let little things get to us. A guy pulling on our head, you know, we're a collegiate wrestling. This is stuff we covered in week 1, a guy pulling on my head. But we listen, like I said, we had a lot of guys that were listening to their bench. They were worried about a guy pulling on their head. And that, to me, it just, it's frustrating because it's one of the most simple things in wrestling. A guy pulls on your head, you go take advantage of it. We didn't. We let them control the pace, and we let them control a lot of the hand fighting situations.
With Mike Martinez, University of Wyoming, victorious tonight, and with this, the team wrapped up the regular season championship. This is an area you kind of know pretty well, having trained here at the Olympic Training Center. Going back on that experience, how's that helped you here at Wyoming in your collegiate style of wrestling?
Oh, it's helped a bunch, having Coach Branch coach me most of my life, and now with Coach Branch, both good coaches. I think they both have the intensive style of wrestling, and it's helped quite a bit.
You kind of came out as an unknown when you stepped on the mat at Wyoming. How do you think your progression has gone from your first season in the lineup to now?
I mean, I've gotten better. Always been a slow learner, but it doesn't matter. You got to find a way to win, and that's what we're working on. The whole team, not just me individually.
Well, you're going to be pushed in the conference. There's 4 tough guys at the weight. You know, it's nothing's really a given. So what are your plans going into the conference tournament? Obviously to win it, but what are you doing to, you know, win that conference title and get us a high seed at the NCAAs?
Everything possible. I mean, as far as training concerned, I'm doing everything possible. I always have. Work hard. Hitting them shots repetitively. First one in, last one out. And when you got a whole bunch of guys on the team trying to do the same thing, it's hard to be the first one in and the last one out, which is why Wyoming is becoming a good program. Coach Branch has been working with me on technical skills quite a bit because he knows as well as I do that I need work there. And we're training to win, me and everyone else on the team as well.
Who do you think your biggest threat in the conference is at 125?
It's hard to say. I mean, you can't look past anybody. Ben Carr, Tony Mustari, another Iowa kid, they're all good. Everyone, this kid, this Air Force kid, you can't look past anybody. You got to be.
Yeah, he didn't roll over for you.
No, none of them. I mean, anybody that wants to win. Most wrestlers want to win, so just got to scrap, I guess.
Coach Branch said you guys are kind of in a training cycle right now. You know, this match was not necessarily important as far as a blowout and that type of thing, everybody, but as far as hitting solid technique, and looked like Air Force kind of came out and really didn't back down. They were fighting pretty good. You being the last match, you had to wait and see all that. What were your thoughts about how y'all performed tonight as opposed to the rest of the regular season?
It was far from our best performance. And like Coach said, we've been training pretty hard, but that's no excuse. Whether you're training hard or not, a lot of it's mental, and if you can win when you're tired, that just means you grit your teeth and got the job done, and I think we need work in that area, and I think Coach Branch would tell you the same thing. But we got some tough kids on the team, and we need the rest, and we'll fix it.
Air Force Coach Joel Sharratt, senior day, pretty good crowd. Your corps came out and support your seniors, and a lot of fight from you guys tonight. You know, what were you impressed with, even though you guys came up short on the scoreboard?
Certainly impressed for the guys coming out and competing more to the level of their ability. We showed more of what we're capable of doing tonight. I think we still, we haven't begun to taper for the conference tournament. We're training. We trained hard this week. We'll be back in the room tomorrow morning, 6:45, training again. We have UNI this Sunday, and then the focus will really start to go towards conference tournament. So again, we got some great experience tonight. The guys showed us a lot more of what they're capable of doing. They showed us more of a pace that they're capable of wrestling. We need to continue to compete through the edge. Wyoming hustled on the edge a little bit, where we maybe let up on the edge a little bit, and we got to fix that. There's a few areas that we got to fix, but certainly, woulda, coulda, shoulda, what ifs. There's several matches in there that shows our team and gives us confidence that we're going to go to the conference tournament and compete.
A couple of those what ifs. We start out 149, you almost get the fall there, and then a big win at 157. That swung momentum y'all's way heading into the break.
Oh, absolutely. I think at 133 we were in a tough physical fight there. That if we can get off the bottom, we get on our feet, we instill fatigue a little bit more instead of choosing, getting ridden for a minute and a half there. If we get up to our feet, we get that. The guy was tired already. We can do a lot more at 133. 41. Cole wrestled a good match. I think we can continue to score more team points there. He's capable of more team points. He got a major, did a great job as a freshman. But 49, great win for Gabe. 57, solid win for Alec Williams. And then 74 and 97. 74, we're in the match. We just got a sprawl again. Match strategy there, tactics on the edge of the mat. That's pretty easy to teach for us to recover, because we're the one that can shoot, we're the one that can score points. And then at 197, we got in on 3 swing singles. We just didn't secure the leg and get to our feet.
So a lot to be pleased from, but what are you guys going to work on going into UNI in the conference?
Certainly, the focus 100% tomorrow morning changes to UNI and what their athletes do and how we can impose our specific skill sets against what they do, keep them out of their strengths and stay in the areas that we're stronger in.
Alluding to 157, the opponent, Jimmy Belleville, kind of a funky guy, unorthodox. We kind of saw that early, but Williams didn't seem phased after he had that injury in the first period and came back and probably kind of countered every little goofy, funky headlock or just riding high, that type of thing.
Alec Williams is a 3-time state champion. He's a competitor. He's going to go out and wrestle. He's a sophomore, so I think, again, talking to him after the match, one of our program philosophies, I'm never going to fault a guy for staying on the attack and trying to keep scoring points, but how he chooses to continue to score points, like in the third period, snap the guy down. He's very easy. That position seemed very easy from the bench anyway, to put that guy's hands on the mat and go around behind him, rather than get underneath and get chin dropped and that sort of stuff. We could keep scoring points there without getting into that guy's scrambles. So, we'll limit the risk that we put ourselves in, that allows that guy to have an opportunity to get back into the match, and keep ourselves in the dominant position that we were in, pulling them, snapping them, re-attacking.
Talk about your seniors. This is their last match at home here in Colorado Springs. What have they meant to the program?
Well, this senior group was the freshman group when I came in. They've implemented the culture change. Not every senior, you saw there was 12 seniors that walked out tonight. Not every senior in that class is a blue chip star recruit, but we have 12 seniors in our senior class. We started with about 14 kids in the freshman class. So what that means, program-wise, we're serving our cadets. We're building leaders for the United States Air Force, but along the way, those guys are enjoying the program and they're getting fulfillment back from us. And it's been a reciprocal relationship that we'll be friends for life.